Hello everybody, so in today's video, as promised or as mentioned in last week's video, we are going to do a little piece on our replacement heifers. Okay, so here they all are. There's still two in front of me, but anyway, the rest of them are here. Actually one of those is a beef steer, but never mind. So all of our heifers are here in this field, and 2 weeks ago today, so I'm filming this Saturday to come out Sunday. 2 weeks ago today was the start of a very, very bad, maybe 5-6 days for us. Probably the worst in our memory on the farm. We came to this block of land, just behind us way up there, on a Saturday morning to check these heifers. We were actually going to see, you might see in the distance, we have our stack of red clover bales. Okay, so there was another stack in the field next door. We came to move those bales. And then let the heifers graze onto the red clover. And way up in the distance, again you might just see where it is, there's a pylon up there. Okay, so they were in that field. We come to check them, and 2 of the heifers were lying dead. Okay, they were almost directly underneath the electricity wires, not quite. So of course then you start panicking, why do we have 2 dead heifers? Why are they under power lines? If you'd have had like a thunderstorm or something, you could have thought maybe something nasty happened with the power lines and some thunder and lightning and all that. But we hadn't had any of that. We had dry weather for kind of the month previous. So then we're still wondering why we got 2 dead heifers. Anyway, quickly, let's go and check the rest of the bunch, just in case, because you never know. Anyway, so the rest of the bunch, went and looked at them. They were away, they were in a different field. There was 2 of those heifers were walking, limping. They were lame. Okay, so that's even more alarm bells start ringing. What's going on? Get onto the vet, get the vet coming out. Okay, so the vet was on her way. So this block of land is away from home, so we had to give the vet directions how to get here. So I waited by the gate for her to come. The first thing she said when she got in the field, do you vaccinate for blackleg? And no, we don't. You know, it's not a routine thing we do. We vaccinate for BVD, lepto and IBR in the cows as a routine. I had heard of blackleg, but I didn't know anything about it. So of course, when she asked that, no, we don't. Right, let's go and get on and look what the problem was. So the 2 lame ones, we had got those into a handling area with a crush so she could inspect them. And it wasn't, and she, by looking at those 2 lame ones, she was reasonably confident that it was blackleg. But the best way to confirm is to do a post-mortem on the ones that were already dead. Okay, so what she was looking for in the live ones, a temperature. She took their temperature, and she was feeling, when they were in the crush, if I can get one to stand still, which probably won't, she was feeling the big muscles in the back legs. Okay, just here is what she was feeling for. She said if they do have blackleg, if you rub the muscles, you can feel kind of gas bubbles or air bubbles popping within the muscle. Yeah, that's a typical sign of blackleg. She went and did a post-mortem on one of the dead ones, and by looking in again into the same big muscles here, she can tell. As soon as she saw the muscle, she could tell it was indeed blackleg. That was what had killed them. So yeah, that was a fairly quick diagnosis of the problem we were having. Just quickly, obviously I'm not a vet, I don't know the ins and outs of blackleg, although I do know a little bit more than I did 2 weeks ago, so I'll tell you as best I can. So blackleg is a bacteria that lives in soil, and I think it can also live in kind of stagnant water, ditch water, pond water, that kind of thing. And it can stand or sit dormant for many, many years. Eventually the cattle will eat it, and again it can lie dormant within the cattle until something triggers it. Now we do have ditches and a pond on this block of land, but everything was dry. We'd had like 5 weeks of drought, so there was nothing. They hadn't picked it up from any dirty water. They don't have access to those ditches in the pond anyway. It's all fenced out. But because of 5 weeks of dry weather, there was no water in there anyway. So they clearly picked it up somewhere from the soil. The bacteria was in the soil here, They picked it up. Something had happened to make it become active. So we were the third case to be diagnosed by our vets, and after us they did find one more. So in this area, or the area covered by our veterinary practice, there was 4 cases of blackleg within like 10 days. So something happened with the weather conditions in the area, that something like that happened. Anyway, what triggered this particular bunch to get it? We think they're just over 12 months old now, so they're about 1 year and 2 weeks old, this bunch, and they are just starting to come bulling. Okay, so they're coming bulling, and that is a prime kind of trigger for blackleg, is bumping together, bruising of the muscle. Okay, so if a heifer rides another heifer, they put all their weight onto here, and it's causing bruising in that big muscles, which is why when the vet cut into them, that is where she saw the problem. Okay, so that is what blackleg is. So back to what is blackleg. It is a bacteria that lives in the soil. There we go, prime example there, didn't catch that, but that was a bulling heifer riding another one. Anyway, so the bacteria lives in the soil, they ingest it, something triggers it, and it gets into somehow a bruised muscle, and that is when the problems occur. When the muscle bruises, the bacteria is in there, and forget what it does, but part of its kind of active process is creating that gas that she was feeling for in the muscle, and the bacteria doing its thing releases toxins, which is what kills the animals. Okay, so it is quite a rapid process. Once they have had that bruising and the reaction takes place in the muscle, they say like 12 hours, dead, you know, finished and gone. It was a relief to get the diagnosis. It was an immediate, yes, this is definitely the problem, and then turn into, what are we going to do to solve it? The immediate thing was these all needed to be vaccinated. Okay, so to provide them with some protection, because any one of this bunch was at risk. The biggest problem with blackleg, like we said, is the bruising. To vaccinate these, we had to restrain them, get them in a pen, get them in a crush, and give them a vaccine, give them an injection. All of those things carry a risk of bumping together, bruising, knocks, that kind of thing. So immediately, so within a couple of hours, we had the vaccine, and we administered the vaccine as an underskin, just into the loose skin on the neck. Again, an injection is a risk of triggering blackleg, again, because of obviously you're entering. Blackleg vaccine is seen to be reasonably low risk, despite the fact you're putting a needle into them. Because you're not injecting it into the muscle, it is under the skin in the neck. That's kind of lowest risk you can have. Okay, while the vet was here, the 2 lame ones that she inspected, she put those on a course of antibiotics, which again was a risk. Injecting into a muscle, it's a risk, you know, you're causing potential bruising. But had we not done that, those two ill ones, they would have died for sure. Anyway, so that was our Saturday. We then came late, so it was late Saturday time we'd vaccinated everything. Okay, it takes a while to get the vaccine, get them in a pen, put them through, gentle, quiet, careful as you can. It all takes a while. So Saturday was a late finish. Anyway, come back up Sunday to check, see, you know, what is happening tomorrow, you know, what is happening on the Sunday morning. Come up, 2 more lame ones. Okay, so that's 2 more we have to take home. So we actually ended up taking 3 lame ones home on Saturday that were under treatment. Sunday, 2 more lame ones, take them home, treat them, come back on Monday. What's happening, you know, what is disastrous happening on Monday? Monday comes round, I think we have 1 more lame one and 1 more dead one. Okay, so problem clearly getting worse. The vaccine, obviously, vaccine takes a while to take effect, and between Saturday and Monday, we got a friendly one here. Yeah, so between Saturday and Monday, the vaccine doesn't have time to take effect. So we're on to the vets again. What can we do? We've lost more. We've got more ill ones. What is our next kind of step to protect? We have to protect the future of our herd. So the decision was taken, or the advice from the vet was, despite the risks, everything in this bunch needs to go on a course of antibiotics. Okay, so that's what we did. Starting again late in the afternoon, late Monday afternoon, we had to put all these through the race, through the crush, and inject them. The decision was taken. The risk of injection was by far the lower. There was a way up of, do we risk putting them through the crush for 3 days in a row, or do we risk losing any more? It was an easy decision to take. They all had to go on a course of antibiotics. Anyway, so that, don't want to say it cured the problem, but after Monday we didn't have any more cases appear. Okay, so these had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3-day course of antibiotics. Come the end of Wednesday, we were kind of thinking we were safe again then. And touch wood, touching lots of wood here, that course of antibiotics did get on top of it. Okay, so we haven't had another lame one, and we haven't lost any since that. I don't know what we're going to do with you next year when you start milking. You're going to be a pest. Yeah, so we do seem to be over it now. So the final total was, we did 3. So we ended up taking 7 heifers home. That they still haven't come back to this bunch yet. They're still at home. We had 3 die. Go away, you. And one of the 7 that we took home, she didn't recover. Okay, so we ended up losing 4 out of a bunch of, I think, 42. So we ended up losing. Right, we need to go and find somewhere else to film now because you're getting annoying. There's a troublemaker. Yeah, so unfortunately we did lose 4 out of our bunch, and 6 more we did treat, and we did, so far seems like we saved them. So there we go. That is a recap of the worst week we have ever endured. I'm going to stick my neck out here and say, Blackleg, the experience we had with Blackleg was worse than what we had with TB. Okay, although we lost far more to TB, you kind of know what's coming. Cows don't die because of TB, but you do lose cows. Heifers have died because of Blackleg. Okay, so it was very, very hard time, very tough thing to get through. But looking at them now, they're fairly confident now they are quite safe. One of the big things with Blackleg, apart from vaccination, is fresh ground. Okay, so we have moved them onto our red clover, so they are away from potentially infected land down there, although it is all the same block. So is this infected as well? We don't know. But yeah, so the way forward for us for the future is definitely these are halfway through vaccination now. They need like a loading dose and then a booster in, I think it's 4 weeks time, so obviously we're halfway through that process now. But anything else that ever comes here will be vaccinated, and the cows will be vaccinated as well. Although it does, so far as I can make out, it's mostly youngsters that suffer, so they kind of need to vaccinate them before the first grazing season. So there we go. That is a bit of very talky, very waffly. I hope my facts are correct. Not, as far as I know, I've told you kind of factual stuff. If you know, anybody in the comments knows any more, stick us a comment. Anything I've missed out, or any experiences you have had with Blackleg, put us in a comment and let's get a bit of a discussion going on down there. But there we go. I think yes, that was our, lost my pest now. Good. So that is our, I was going to call it a harrowing experience, because that's what it was. It was a very, very hard thing to get through. But and we are now out of the other side. So yes. So there we go. So the Blackleg is part of the reason we missed a couple of weeks worth of videos at the end of August. early September, just because we were dealing with this over a weekend, and when you've got something like that going on, the thought of filming anything, it just didn't enter my head. And there was no film of doing all the treatments or nothing. It was just get on and get it done. But I have to say, we ran this bunch through the handling system 4 times altogether, and it actually got quicker every time. It was this kind of thing you expect they would resist it as time went on, but they didn't. They just helped us out while we were helping them out. So yes, it all worked out in the end. So there we go. I will say thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening and enduring what we've been through. Not at all an exciting video today, but this is one of those things. It has happened, and yes, just be aware. It can happen to anybody, seemingly at any time, without warning. And there's another buller there. Yes, so right, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully back next week on a bit more of a lighter, upbeat, more upbeat, and hopefully more interesting note.